Yeah. Probably. All right, what's up, y'all?
Should have made it cream. A little bit.
All right, gang, what's good? What's happening? How we living? How we feeling? Happy Tuesday. You know what it is. Today, oh snap. Today's a day that God designed for the godliest of meals, which is tacos. All right, guys, let's get dialed in here. I know we got a good crowd here today. So okay, here are my thoughts. We got gold, we got silver. I'm kind of back and forth on what I want to do here. So structure wise, we've seen the market trade above these highs on silver a bit, came up for about 90 minutes yesterday, came back up again for a few more hours. So structure is decent on silver. Same thing with gold. They're both sitting above this. Actually, gold sitting above a 618. I actually wanted to buy here. However, I was getting something to drink and doing a couple things. So, yeah. So there's kind of two things, right? You have a huge sweep of liquidity here, and then you have an order block right here. Another secondary sell-off. So this is, this is where I think we can get, a reversal. However, there's just kind of a lot of traffic here. Big sell-off, chops down and up and down and up. So we got into the imbalance over here. If we can work our way down a little bit more, I would prefer that. So I want to see if we can push down a little bit more. Silver, I think, can go down another notch as well, whether it's trading down to here or over here. So I'm just gonna wait. I want a better entry with a better risk reward. So getting below here, trading into, yeah, I don't know, just trading a little bit lower. I think I'm open to it. Here's the thing too, though. Here's why I'm a little bit more patient with the trade here. So I kind of just want to see it drop. It doesn't really have to be here exactly. But the reason I'm a little bit more patient is and let me look at GC, right? So let's look at the actual contracts here, the mini contract. But we have, let me delete this. This is what we were waiting for yesterday. But we do have equal highs over here. The market has the easiest targets is for price to get to here. This is like the easiest place. And by easy, I mean like the most likely to happen would be right here. So what kind of risk reward makes sense to get to here specifically? So having an entry at around really from 45.05 and below gives you a better risk reward. Whether it's going to trigger this is a different story, but so that's one thing to consider, right? Just as we work our way a little bit lower, and here we get the secondary. It looks like we're getting another push down. So patience can help quite a bit here. Here's the other thing though, and now going over to indices. Indices also have a lot of liquidity here, and so I think S&P can clear these lows. A nice spike down that could set up metals for buys. You have Dow that's kind of squeezing, moving sideways as well, bless you. And then you have NASDAQ that has a ton of liquidity. So I feel like we have one more spike down before we get a good reversal. And this push down can either set up gold, or I do think we can set up for Dow. So let me walk you guys, and man, if we have time, there were so many setups yesterday. It was crazy, just crazy. So yeah, with Dow we have a break above this high. So I want to zoom out for you guys. A couple things. We'd really try yesterday, right? We try to get above these highs on the 15-minute, doesn't make it. And then the market works its way down. We don't have a full retracement yet. This is key. We don't work our way back to this imbalance yet. And then after the market just kind of grinds out these lows, keeps pushing down and down, it finally makes a break above. Okay, so now we get a shift on the 5-minute, but we still fail to make highs up here. This 15-minute is weak, and then even when the market comes back up, right? Even when we get this break above these highs, we do see a small time frame shift in structure, but we struggled to get above here again. We have more and more liquidity over here. So, because it's happening this way, I'm not convinced quite yet that we're going to take out these highs yet. I think we get a bounce out of here. So I think we get something like this. We bounce out of here. Maybe we break this trend line or just into this imbalance, maybe even to the support, and then we make another move down before we really get the rally. So this looks more likely to me. Quick little bounce, catch a nice little 2R, maybe a little more depending on kind of the scenario. But this is more of what I think can happen. I think we need to get a bit more buyers at discounted prices to get the right move. So this is what I'm looking for indices this morning. Of course, this is assuming that we can, let me get something going here. Assuming that everything kind of moves in our favor, like NQ is doing its thing as well. Here we go. So let's pull up NASDAQ real quick. NQ taking out liquidity, look at that. So NASDAQ taking out the lows, beautiful. We have S&P taking out lows as well, perfect. And then where does that take us with gold? So gold also slowly working its way lower, and silver leading the push downwards. So that's perfect. Let's see. Oh, my camera got weird. Hold on 1 second, guys. Camera got wild. Okay, we should be good now. All right, perfect. So, okay, give me a second, y'all. All right. So, look at how silver is crashing down. Perfect. Look at how gold's moving its way down. And I think this is going to be, honestly, like, I guess up to you guys on what your preference is on the way down. It's gold or Dow or maybe even both. I guess it depends on how you want to go about it. But gold now making a lower move while silver is pushing even further down. So I think gold's just about ready for reversals. Dow also getting very, very close to the reversal territory. We saw NASDAQ take out liquidity already coming back up. S&P taking out liquidity already doing its thing. So to me, it kind of looks like Dow might not get here quite yet. It's kind of playing out of the higher zones. So let me just go to one screen here. And maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe the spike down starts a little bit higher. That's possible. So let me pull this up. No, this looks fine. Yeah, this looks good. All right, so Dow looks solid. To the sweep, to the downside. So I'm going to keep waiting on that. The 5-minute structure. See if we work our way a little bit lower. And Q, clean sweep of liquidity already reversing, but NASDAQ more bearish overall. And then, right, we have gold. So gold's break above a couple times. Like I said, I think it's a little bit more vulnerable, the gold setup. So not a full risk trade for me, but I think it looks solid. So I'm okay with taking positions right around here. So I'm gonna set just a little, let's see, where is silver? I want silver to see how we're starting to break below these lows. I don't necessarily need it to break the low. I just need it to be where it's at now. So I like where we're at with gold. I'm not going to go full risk on this. I think I'm going to go maybe 3/4. And then, actually, I can only really take a contract on here. So, yeah, I'll take it from right where we're at right now. So, one contract on this guy. 786 entry. Not that the fib is why I took the position, but it's just part of, like, it just happens to align. So I did prefer gold over silver since silver was already way more bearish. There's definitely a chance that silver breaks these lows, so that might push gold a little bit further down, which is fine. And then from here, also just to double check myself because I didn't do this. There we go. I would have missed this trade. All right, 1 second, guys. All right, so here we go. Just took it on the cup. I didn't have it, this thing on. 1 sec. Here we go. The cup account. And for the cup, if you guys didn't check, I just checked this morning, but the leaderboard's getting wild. Like, right now, and I think this is going to drop though, to be fair. I think this number is going to end up going down because people just typically can't keep accounts for too long. But right now, it's like you need about 7K to be in the top 1,000. So I actually thought it was going to be less. So you got to grind that out for sure. Okay, so that's what we have. Gold, silver, not quite taking those lows yet. And then S&P, another notch down. Meanwhile, Dow is still not quite there. So let me make this visible on the 15. I don't really need it here right now. Okay. Now, on top of the buys. So yes, I want to see buys with Dow. We're actively in gold, so I'm in the gold buy as well, just to make sure you guys have this down. Gold buy is active, triggered in here. Right there basically is the entry. And then my TP, I have it a little under, well, I can move it a little bit higher. 2R, this would be just taking out liquidity. Maybe I depending on what kind of move we get here, I could extend it a little bit further, so we'll kind of see. But the setup that I think will maybe trigger everything moving in unison here with New York Open is Dow. So Dow came down, played off of where we've seen some resistance. So this is an initial bounce right now, doing a pretty good job. And Q, meanwhile, still going even lower. So look at how now NASDAQ took out New York session lows on top of London session lows. So we can start getting some decent reversals here overall. And with this Dow buy, I really was only going to target kind of the short-term intraday stuff. And then let's look at oil, right? So oil apparently is taking out London highs, trading into this area. I don't love oil because of this. I think oil is possible for sure, but the way we took out these lows and came right back in, it's not the best setup for me. Like, I see liquidity. I think we can reverse, but I definitely see some flaws in this idea. But if gold's gonna go up, if Dow's gonna go up, then oil can definitely shoot down. So if you're interested in shorting, whether it's like right here or the entire zone, then I'm with it. Like, I see it, I get it. It's just I wouldn't go full risk on this. That's my take. So if you're gonna, you know, have your stop over here, then be my guest. Yeah, take your shot. This is basically, if you really think this is a break of structure, then run it up. Otherwise, maybe you get a secondary confirmation. So like, for example, if we were to get, let's say this comes back down, we kind of get a shakeout model, then you might get an even better risk reward. So I could see it. I could see the short. I didn't take this right here. To me, this is, I don't know. I don't think this is intended to be a lower low. This to me looks more like a liquidity sweep and then the market rallying from here. So I'm okay. I'm chilling. If we get maybe higher, then I'll take a tighter stop or something. But if this fails, then this isn't a mitigation trade anymore. Where I think this will end up being a better trade actually is if the market ends up getting back to here. Then I think this buy I really like. Right now, like, right now, we have, like, oil is bullish overall. So running with buys for me, I prefer at the moment. Meanwhile, gold is fully dying here. And fully clapped. So that gold setup that I went for here did not survive. And yeah, so we had a feeling, that's why I didn't go full risk on this guy. Went with half risk because of this structure. So these right here, like I said, I was a little bit concerned about this right here, how we failed to maintain these highs both times. So kind of like we're seeing with, where are we at? Oh wow, Dow just melted through. Good thing why I learned it to go through. I would have taken a loss on this one. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I would have taken it, just considering how NQ and S&P are moving. So, okay, cool. On the bright side, since these are moving in opposite directions, then this trade right here is what I'm looking forward to. So this buy right here out of this zone is what I want to take. And then ride this back. So take this over here. Positions could be pretty decent really all across the board, whether you want to go near the open or a little bit further in. So I'm open to this idea for sure. Right over here. And then what I'm gonna do here, set a little limit. Oh, thanks for the alert. The TradingView alert coming in 2 minutes late. That's wild. Crazy. So before I set this as a limit, look at how NQ is on an absolute rampage over here after failing to break the 5-minute high. Just going crazy. S&P doesn't know what to do. So I'm gonna go with this guy here. And then this one I will take with pretty good risk. Right now, first reversal is just kind of out of structure here. And I'm assuming this oil play, I feel like the oil play is playing out. Not too much yet. Okay, so no major reversals yet for oil. It's holding it down pretty well. So what are you guys doing? How do you guys feel about the markets right now? Are you looking for positions yet? Are you still waiting it out? Right now we got gold to work its way lower. I wonder if there's anything else over here. Some lower entries over here. Maybe. So for learning, right? These highs that we had here that kind of failed both times. This will show you how sometimes even if you get a little bit of structure, like it tries, like always the structure basically is king. That's the biggest thing, right? Structure is king. So do some of these play out sometimes? Yes. But do they play out all the time? Definitely not. And is the success rate of a trade from like that fails to really confirm structure for too long? Obviously it's lower. So this is why I don't take these trades with a full risk most of the time. Well, I'd never take these trades with full risk if the demand is like a little off. So a half hour loss there. With gold taking out, with metals taking out the lows, like yesterday's lows right here. And not just yesterday, but Sunday's market open lows. And meanwhile, we're still seeing, where is oil? My charts are a little slow right now. Hold on. Meanwhile, we're still seeing oil like hold it down pretty well here. Honestly, this short looks better and better. But I really wish this low would have kind of, like, the time is not the issue, right? We're down here for an hour and change, but then we come right back up. I think I prefer running with momentum. Yeah, I think it's just that simple. I think I just prefer keeping the momentum. The other side of the coin, if you're not looking to buy Dow, let's say this is the setup that I like right now. NQ during London, right, takes out these highs, trades into Asian session. So this is the previous high. Even here though, right, it goes down. So here's the structure. So let's say here's the previous low. Just here. That's just terrible. Then here it comes down, comes back up, comes right down, comes right back up. So you see how it just keeps struggling to maintain below here, even right here. So when the market's doing this, it's just not, this isn't giving me like strong conviction that these will hold, that this high will also hold. So I feel like there is some sort of, this could look like a decent sell, but the fact that we just keep struggling to stay down here every time it does, I don't know if this is going to hold up. So there's just clear setups for me, and I prefer those. Let's see, reversals are starting to come in, oil shorts starting to work out. There you go. Nice. So overall, right, if you started to take some sort of trade on reversals, whether it's oil sells, metals buys, I don't think are quite there yet. Like, yes, you see the trading below the weekly low, and then now we came up. Right, so this one failed. Came up. Moved sideways for a little bit, came down. We're kind of building up sideways. A part of me thinks this is going to start ripping, but I don't have the confirmation for it. So as much as there's such a thing as like an intuitive trade, but I think you need some kind of data. So trading below the weekly open, okay. Is that enough? Is it? What do you guys think? Is that enough? I don't think so. Not for a minute. But the cool thing is, you trade your game. You don't have to do whatever I do. I'm just telling you what I do. That's all I do here. I just show you what I do, what works for me, how I interpret things. If it works for you, sick. If it doesn't, that's cool too. And Q trading into the imbalance, starting to lose a little steam. Okay. So the theories on reversals are pretty decent. Honestly, Dow reversing out of here is kind of strange. I don't think we're done. I don't think this is done. I think this is going to end up working its way lower, and if it doesn't, then same thing. Like I say, guys, like, it's just really about detachment. But what you can end up doing is chasing an okay, like an iffy setup. You end up giving money to something that like doesn't really, like, you could have had a better opportunity. Wow, NQ did do the reversal. What a dog. Well, at least a minimum reversal, right? Can this go higher? For sure. Now, if we continue to stay bullish with NQ, then you do have the possibility of a setup here. Dow coming down. Okay, interesting. So look at how we have NQ make its leg down. It did reverse out of here. So this London push up, I guess, was enough. And it was like, all right, yeah, no, there's a lot of money here. So, you know, this has been this is funny. I was like, yeah, guys, this one could play out, but you know, it's vulnerable. That's the one that melts off of it, you know, melts off the planet of the Earth. Just the one where I'm like, yeah, you know, I don't know. And it's kind of, isn't it kind of funny? Like, gold is basically the same thing. This is why you can't take so much recency bias. Gold was similar. Gold breaks below, and then it kind of struggles to stay, and then we took gold, but it was the opposite, right, for buys. And Q does basically the same thing, and then this one does play out. So that's why, like, taking half risk setups isn't a bad thing, right? These can definitely work out in your favor. Now everything is falling into place together. Markets are moving in unison. So you have NASDAQ, S&P, that's now working its way lower. Okay. So S&P, I could see it go below maybe these New York lows. And the reason these lows are important, it's not just because they're lows. Like, that's not why. It's because of what it means for the markets. So, for example, you have to think about it in terms of positioning and where money would rest. So below this S&P low, there's probably a good amount of retail buyers. So there's stop losses below here. So the market's getting to there can make a big difference because it's likely to reverse out of there. There's more money available. Same thing here. So if you're looking at, for example, NASDAQ coming back to this level, maybe even going lower. So I think it's a pretty compelling argument that a lot of liquidation would be happening and we can get things going in unison over here. So reversals seem to be happening soon, and I'm gonna just wait it out. Yeah, I don't feel like I need to be in the market right now. So both the setups that I was like, you know what, man, I'm just gonna chill, dude. I'm not gonna take these. Yeah, oil is working. So my oil traders, good stuff, good stuff. If you took that NQ sell, well done. And let's see if my patience for Dow pays off, or if I'm on the wrong side of the market today, or just the wrong assets. I might just be prioritizing the wrong ones, which is totally possible.
You don't think Dow maybe mitigated already?
No, I don't think Dow mitigated at all.
Yours looks a little bit higher than.
So, well, let me check YM. I mean, I could be wrong if YM maybe did the thing. No, YM doesn't look like it's done it either. So, unless there was a contract switch that I'm not aware of. Let me look in the chat. Just got tagged in on gold, 1 hour on oil. Nice. Got clapped on both. Oh yeah, so I don't have a limit set on Dow. I like to see how those in real time. Why do you think that highs on NQ can't hold? Which ones? Oh, why these wouldn't hold? Yeah, so the reason I wasn't looking to trade this was because every time the market, so when we broke below here, we would spend very little time. Like the sellers would lose control time and time again. Actually, right here, they traded for a little bit longer. So because we just kept losing momentum here, 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 this to me looked like the market was just struggling to maintain these levels. So if it struggled to really confirm bearish structure, then this had a probability of not holding up either. Now it was here back and forth, so it was okay. This wasn't terrible. It wasn't just a wick down and right back up. So that alone could have been enough for me to take this with a less. But to be fair, I probably wouldn't have pulled the trigger right here. I probably would have waited a little bit higher. Yeah. And that's fine. Like, one of the things about your system, guys, and you, like, please listen to me. Like, just be coachable here. If it doesn't work once, don't go changing your how you trade. Don't go changing what you think works. Or if it does work once, don't assume it's going to work every single time. So for the love of God, stop changing your shit. Just like keep doing something for long enough so that you have actual data, you have information, and you can see if you're good or not. But you're never going to know what kind of trader you are if you're always changing your system. You will never know. You'll always keep thinking, like there's a chance if you've been trading for more than a couple years that you've already had a profitable system, but you just haven't had the patience, and you're thinking about losing in the wrong way. So please, guys, please stop changing. Like if you're checking your data, you'll know relatively quickly. It doesn't take you too long to figure out like, oh, okay, this sucks. Like this doesn't work. But if you are, let's say, well, it doesn't even have to be me, but if you're learning from anyone who's had some sort of success with their system for a long period of time, then it works. It's just, does the trader work it, right? The system can work, but the trader might not be able to work it. Also, a profitable system is not a system that is always profitable. It's just profitable over time. So you got to think about your timeline. Is it a couple days that you're thinking about? Is it a week? Is it months? Is it quarters? So the way we the way we trade here, I mean, it's years and years of success. It's just a matter of allowing yourself not to get in your own way. Okay, so S&P cleared the lows. As soon as it did that, we saw a pretty big reversal. Now, what happens a lot, and I think if you were trading yesterday, don't let a one break, like one dip below, cause FOMO for you. Don't go chasing all of these trades just because like, oh, look at, like it looks like it's leaving and then all of a sudden you're in. I'm looking to take NQ shakeout. I'm not. This doesn't look good to me at all. This does not look like any sort of demand. Came down, came back up really quickly. Yeah, that's not it for me. But Dow's ripping. So I wanted to possibly take a buy here, but that still wasn't it. Cool. All right. So indices just pretty wild. Yeah, really, really volatile right now. I'm sidelined, and again, guys, like if you think you got qualified trades, run them up. Don't wait for you to trade. You don't have to do that by any means. Let's see. Is this oil trade going? I hope it's just melting off the face of the earth. Decent. I mean, yeah, pretty good. Pretty good movement on oil. So got a little sweep here. Maybe it'll want to reverse out of here. But if you did take a short here, then stops break even. I would have stops at break even for sure. So conservative targets for take profit would be like just the most conservative, like 103.65. Dow's still pushing. Man, what a move. Interesting. Yeah, we traded into the imbalance, but not into the sweep. Now we're seeing Dow trade into New York Open here. Interesting. I would have preferred NQ sells if we would have like maintained these lows a lot better, but we did not. So yeah, I mean, I'm with Dow here. It traded below this low that it made for about 20 minutes, but with New York Open spiking up like this, it didn't really take up too much liquidity. Yes, it like for a second pops up and then drops. So again, these aren't my setups. So you got to learn to trade your game. You can't let the market entice you all of the time back and forth into this, because the market will definitely pull you in, and it'll make anything look semi-attractive. So if you let it, don't be swayed. It's like not every billboard is for you. Trust me. Like, you're wilding if that's what you think how it's gonna be. All right. Now, what could play out? So, what could be giving and creating a setup? Because just because you missed the first move doesn't mean that you're gonna miss the whole move. So, for example, here with gold, right? Gold liquidates weekly open, the lows of the week so far. So we trade below that. Now that we've done that, right? Now that we're seeing this here, what could happen is now we can see, for example, whether it's here or somewhere else, maybe even higher, doesn't matter. If we start to see consolidation here and what you would consider like a break and retest, then I don't take the sell on the break and retest. I want to see money come into the market, and then if we see retail sells build up here and then get into profit, that's when I'd pull the trigger on a buy. So it'll depend. If we get something like this, then I'm in the market. If not, then obviously not. So a little bit of patience can go a long way here. So okay, oil just got to this level. This is where I was saying that if I was in a sell here, I would take profit. For oil, since you're counter trend trading oil right now, for me, this would be a good profit place. So if I was in a short, depending on where you place your stop, I know if you took it over here, you're not getting the most out of the market here, 1.5, but you're collecting. Otherwise, even now, you're still doing pretty well. If you had a tighter stop, if you were trading your stop right there, so if that's how you were approaching this one, then you're chilling. Like you're big chilling right now. So either way, good work, guys. For those of you that shorted oil, well done. Well done, my friends. Let's see if that keeps pushing. Silver pushing, gold doing its thing, gold with even more momentum. So here is where I would imagine we can start to get a little bit of a reversal. This probably will reject out of there unless silver is going to keep pushing this thing even higher. Okay. So that means metals are probably ripping as well. So now the Dow going higher, S&P not quite breaking the 5-minute highs yet. So here's where you're going to start to see whether the market's going to stay bullish or whether the intention is solely to clear these highs and then reverse. I had Dow here where we had trend line liquidity as well. So this taking out some of these highs for reversals also would make sense. Okay, let's see. And then NQ here, not pushing as aggressively as anything else. So up and down. it met, here's where we had these couple bullish last bit of moves before it drops down. So with NQ struggling, honestly, NQ might hold and drop again. So let's see S&P take out liquidity and Dow take out some liquidity here. And that might lead to a reversal. So let's see if we get Dow to take out these highs, break this trend line, S&P to take out these highs, take that out as well. And then if we get something going on here. NQ really doing his thing. $3.7 is great. Yeah, good stuff, Michael. USD CHF sells, buys for futures. Yeah, so I had an alert go off earlier. I know I had an alert go off here for 6S. For this zone right here. It was like one last push down. 1 hour structure was super bullish. So I had this marked up. I thought I did. But yeah, anyways, I had it marked. I had this alert at least. And then with the same zone, if you look, this happened just like it did with the yen, or at least it was pretty similar. This was Wednesday, April 29th, where it has this big drop. And then, wait, that's the peso. So yeah, you see the Swiss franc here, Wednesday, April 29th, and then the yen, which is right here, Wednesday, April 29th. So with the yen having to go a little bit further down, I'm gonna wait it out to take the yen. I might miss out on the Swiss franc, but it looks like it could play out pretty decent. But yeah, yesterday, right, we hit 4R on 4.3R on oil buys to start off the Tradeify Cup so far. Then we took gold for a half R loss. Yeah, I'm not gonna take that Swiss trade. We're seeing a lot of other dollar setups start to reverse already, so yeah, I'm chilling. I'm okay. With oil breaking, if oil breaks below here and can maintain it, then you might actually have another setup. Okay, so look at what we're starting to see. We are currently witnessing possibly this, right, what I had drawn up over here. Will we consolidate from here and then get a different trade, right? Can we see something like this? I'll use the ghost feed, I think is a little prettier. And then we work our way down to this area for continuations. So if we start to work our way down, I'll have an alert here. And we'll be ready. Right now, we've moved sideways for just 5-6 minutes, so nothing too pressing. You have liquidity over here as well, so you have a couple different targets. If we get, it looks like it can play out like this. So, CAD buys. Corey, did you end up selling NQ? And it basically ended up playing out of these OBs right here. So held up, dumped. What threw me off here was like we just kept going lower and lower. Like I felt like we didn't really have another target lower than this. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just not convinced. Something about the markets they're not looking super attractive to me. Gold buys are what I like the most right now. So let's review. Let's say we were still looking for buys. Now, Dow bleeds out and then chops up here. Maybe some of you took buys or something. We just break above where New York opened from and where we had a whole bunch of selling. Gets above here, immediately reverses down. So still don't think Dow has finished its move. This might be what attracts. So right now, what do we know? People that started buying after, a little bit after New York open. Stops are right here right now. There's a lot of stop losses right here. So like right over here, you for sure can see plenty of stop losses right now. So stop losses, retail. I think we're gonna break this. I don't think this thing's gonna hold. So I think your NQ sell will play out pretty nice. And this is not something I'm looking to take right there. So that I think will keep doing its thing. And then here, we might just tap into these levels over here. And this is last week's low, which is right here. These lows are key. If you can get below a previous low from the last week's low or last week's high, especially when, so you know how we're in, this is a bullish trend, right? At this point, it'll either confirm that we're bearish now, or it breaks below, liquidates everybody, because this is the 1 hour low. And then this is where you can get a bounce, and then this ends up being just a wick. It ends up becoming a false break of the structure. So there's a chance that happens, and that's what can lead Dow even further to where we want to take a setup. Gold giving more and more, gold for me at this point, now that we've been chopping up like this for the last 10 minutes or so, if we were to work our way down to this area, I'm definitely, I like the buys. Gold, silver, one or the other. Oil, man. Oil doing good work over here. Nice. I know, who else? It was Jared, I think. J Laws. He was looking at this sell, so hopefully he took it. TP1 and NQ, I wanted to go for 28.803, but now that way I'm filled in balance, I'm considering just taking profit and running. Taking profit and running, where are you running to? Look at that. Oil, man. What a move. Oil dumping, indices recovering, gold hitting this area. All right, so here, let's see, I want to have alerts if oil ends up working its way down to here. Right now, we saw the sweep down to the zone. Brief structure over here, so this just cleared London lows, or there's a lot of liquidity, no lows specifically. But I think we're going to work our way, we might get lower. All right, more sideways movement from metals. This is where, so one thing that you guys can learn here is when mitigation zones break through, a lot of times they'll end up being actual reversal zones anyways. So here we had a sweep, like a sweep of liquidity continuation. And then when it breaks through, not that I don't take positions on these, I don't have enough context for that. But a lot of times, like, this is great, take profit zones and stuff like that. You took that oil too? Got in that oil, taking it to 102.05, 102.09. Oh, you want all of it, huh? You like, I want all of the liquidity. I'm gonna hold this thing. Interesting. For counter trend, I just don't count on the liquidity to get swept right away. Like, think about it this way. Look at how often it's left liquidity once here, right? And then it moves on. Then it leaves more liquidity here, and then it continues. So like, if you're taking trades and you want it to break through liquidity or go through multiple, you gotta have enough, there's gotta be enough money to push it through. So this taking out these highs, the first set is imbalance in here. The second was to take out the lows. Now it's okay, trading into these lows right there. So it's like you're asking for the market to give you a lot. Which it might not do that. Okay, so gold, right? The gold setup that I want to see here is right around here. And then I'm gonna have my stops. Let's see, 15-second here. I'm gonna have my stop below here instead of the full. I'm gonna save myself a couple points here. I am mindful right now of how we're seeing silver move as well. So we'll be on the lookout here. I'd prefer if gold is the one that is better positioned, because then I can take it with every account. Otherwise, silver is kind of a pain in the ass because it's not the most easily tradable. All right, bye, Corey. All right, so S&P dropping, classic. Took out these highs and then wasn't enough. Perfect. And Q order block bleeding out. So once we saw this and everything started to settle, that's what I'm saying. Like, let NQ run. I'm surprised you took your first TP, Corey, actually. And then look at the difference. Dow holding up the line really well. NQ still pushing lower. S&P still pushing lower. So I'm still waiting on Dow. So sadly, missed NQ sells twice. This one just didn't really match my profile. This one we had marked up, but it didn't have the conviction. And then oil shorts we had marked up. Told you guys that I see it. And then I just hesitated, honestly. Hesitated on taking a half hour, but whatever. As you guys are seeing, there's just so many opportunities where if you focus on what you didn't take, what could have happened, and oh my God, had I taken this, I would have been here. Dude, there's so many trades. You're never gonna sleep then as a trader either. You're like, oh well, if I sleep, then I'm gonna miss a gold trade or an oil trade. So you gotta be able to just leave it in where it is. And here's a key thing too. Remember, if you have this skill, so okay, if you get too caught up on what could have been as a trader, then those are signs that you don't really believe in your longevity as a trader. Like, who cares? You can see it a million times over, so you can just take it later. It's the big reason why people risk so much. People want success so fast because they think it's fleeting. It's the reason why people take the lottery, because they don't think they're skilled enough that they can win, that they can be make money, be profitable, just have a different life without a lot of luck. So you got to be honest. Like, do you really think you have to get lucky to make it in this world? Is that the belief system that you choose to have? I have to full port, otherwise, like, what if I don't make it? What if this is my only chance? Or you can just be better. Crazy idea. Or you can just focus on developing your skills, being able to do the right thing often enough for a good amount of time, and then things will go and play out in your favor. So be smooth, y'all. Be smooth. Yeah, y'all are smacking. That's what's up. I know it sucks right now. Right now you might have been like, oh, I did exactly what you did, Mike, and other people are making money, but I'm not making money. Other people are getting good trades, but I'm not getting good trades. Same thing, man. Like, what are you focused on other people? Are you focused on yourself? Are you just on the 1 minute time frame of your own life, so you can't really get further? What's going on, guys? Or you're not thinking like that at all, and you're like, dude, no, I'm stoked. Life's good. We're gravy. Adobe, yo. I mean, come on. 13% in like 3 days. I'm undefeated. No, I definitely am defeated sometimes. But life's good. Life is good. Nintendo also up since I brought it up. 10% as well. You're welcome. Duolingo doing its thing. Secondary entries are up 20%. The lower ones are not. They're like kind of averaging out. Intuit finally recovering. Okay, gold alerts. Hold on. Gotta lock in, y'all. Why does gold have to drop first? This is a pain in the ass. I need silver to start dumping and gold to not drop as aggressively. Silver played into the extremes over here. At as low as it can go from Cinco de Mayo. And then gold has been lower already this whole time. So that's definitely massive divergence. Otherwise, then I'm just going to have to take silver. W calls on Adobe. You don't need anything, bro. Yeah, I mean, you right. You right. You right. I just got an email. It says, launch your own prop firm in 1 week. Yo, that's wild. 1 week, guys. And then I can change all the rules. One-time fee, 3K. White label 1. You guys want to see, here's how easy it is to make a prop firm and for no one with people with no experience to take all your money. So let me just show you guys real quick. These are the emails that you get. When you have just even a little bit of influence, it's just the dumbest thing in the world. This is why like don't chase coupons. Check this out. I just got this email. It's a one-time fee, 3K, a revenue split of 30% with these guys. It'll take 1 week to launch. 1 week. Instant funding, a couple different plans, add-ons, whatever, all this stuff. 3K, that's it. But I would only receive 30%. White label 2, 50%. Let's see, discount codes like this. I mean, like, this is legit. They got everything, but it just goes to show you, like, you don't need to have any credibility, any business acumen, any practical like experience for anything and anybody, and then it's just it's like this is it. And then basically the way this works is, remember, the way prop firms pay out are not because they have the money for it, because it's all simulated. Like, not because there's money out of your trading. Remember that. I go over that in a video I shared maybe a month or two ago. It's just out of the expenses, right? So like all of the challenges, the evals that are bought, like that's where the money comes from to be able to pay for it. So yeah, if you see me suddenly have a prop firm next week, just know that this is how it happened. Obviously I'm kidding, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't been able to, like, having a prop firm from a making money perspective obviously seems like a good idea, since most traders aren't good at trading. But what's up? Unless you're in the syndicate, of course. Like, you guys are beasts, but so I don't know. I feel like having a prop firm for your own community is weird. It's like you're kind of betting on your community sucking. That's such a head ass thought process. Yeah, I don't know. But like, isn't this funny though? I'm already funded with Tradetopia through the education and perspective from El Mago. Shit, you already know. So anyways, this is how they, if you see random influencers out of nowhere have a prop firm, this is how it's done. If you're ever curious about how you get got. Like, props aren't bad necessarily, right? But it's just a weird relationship to have with the community where it's like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I think there's another way where everyone can win, but I don't know if that's the way. Like, I can't imagine myself doing a prop firm in the way that it's currently established. Like, that's what hedge funds are pretty cool, because it's like real money. Like, you make money based off of your returns, actual returns, but also the qualification process is way, way different. And that's what threw me off about prop firms when they started. Someone brought FTMO to me in 2019, and I was like, who in the right mind is gonna give you $50,000 to trade? Like, bro, no offense, but you're a mess. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, there's no way. And he's like, but bro, look at this and that. I'm like, dude, there's no way this is real money. And so eventually, it was like, I was like, all right, bro, these guys legitimately getting paid. Cool, I'll give it a shot. And then obviously things evolved and we understand how things work now. Like, we know how things are. But it makes sense. But it wasn't transparent that it was simulated capital, like that it was all just a demo. But now we're in a prop firm era of trading, which we'll see how long it lasts for. But use it while you can. Structure on silver looks nice though. So if you're going to take a position on metals, and let's say you're going to take silver, unless you're going to have a wider stop on gold or something, you would probably have to tighten your trade up a bit here. So you have a decent risk in play. Otherwise, like a micro maybe. Let's see. Maybe we get lucky and things are decent here. Oh, let me look at GC. Okay. So gold already pushing towards that 618. Silver still trading higher in the imbalance, as you can see here. So this probably worked its way down a bit further. That more than likely pushes gold further down too. Unless silver dumps down a bit more, gold stays still. That'd be the only way I see myself taking gold, unless I want to open my stop up quite a bit. Structure on silver looks nice, though that last move sweeps the lows. On gold, it doesn't. It definitely does on gold. Gold breaks the lows. What are you talking about? Gold breaks these lows and trades into April. Or into March. What do you... I don't know if I might be misunderstanding what you're trying to say here. Alright, gold recovering. Back up around the 50% pullback. Oh, the last 1 minute move? Last move sweeps the lows. Gold doesn't. Oh, I'm in. Okay, I see what you mean. Nas is in the zone now. Okay, I kind of was it was short of the zone I have marked up for NQ. Damn, Dow is still up here, bro. Give it a rest. Like, give me my setup. Yeah, so S&P looks like it's got another, still a little bit further lower to get here. All right, I feel like, yeah, they got a little bit left, a little bit more left. So we wait. Yeah, so silver looks like it's going to be the better one. I wouldn't take it from up here, because remember, like, if you're going to take a silver move, then especially if you're trading futures, just remember, like, it's basically $10 for every penny this thing moves here. So this right here is about $450, $500 risk to take this trade. And then I believe Tradeify, you can only trade the mini contract, which is you're asking for trouble trading a mini contract with silver. Just being real. So okay, a question for you guys: you see Nasdaq that's coming down to this level here, right? So it's going to these lower zones that I talked about here, especially now that it broke last week's low. And then you have S&P that's doing the same thing, basically. While Dow worked its way all the way down, missed my entry, played off the imbalance, and now is trading all the way up here. So this is the 1 minute break above. The market, as quickly as it came back down, it did come back up. So it's a decent, I guess, decent structure here. Would you guys be willing to take a buy right there? So I'm going to close my limit right now just so I don't have too much of my margin taken up. But now this setup looks interesting. So if, let's say NQ and S&P get to those reversal points and Dow still hasn't, I could see Dow giving us this trade here. Because right now it's squeezing, so spike down and reversal. I think it's possible. Gold starting to push. Okay. So filled in balance successfully. Starting to make it move higher. Silver dropped down a little bit, not a lot, and then making its move. So, okay, continue. Patience continues here. Cool. All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap up there. If this comes down again, like I think gold or silver still have a setup, so maybe if they go lower, there's another opportunity. So I'll stay on the lookout. For me, yeah, maybe we saw S&P and NQ break those lows right there. So yeah, let's see how far they go, or if that's all that we were gonna get. It played out like these imbalances so far, so we'll see. Anyways, y'all, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be active in the community, so go ahead and share whatever you want to share in there. Setups, questions, ideas. Just get yourself out of. If you need to just have a conversation on what you're thinking about the markets or decisions that you're making, feel free to do so. And yeah, we'll be back again here for day 3 of the Tradeify Cup to give you guys an update on how things are looking. Right now, it looks like you do got to get over 7K to be in the top 1,000. So risk accordingly. That's of right now. I don't know what this is going to look like tomorrow. Or by the end of the week. Actually, it looks like this number is closer to 8,000 now. So it looks like, man, people are running the bag up. Running the bag up. So if you're being super conservative on this account, I don't think it's going to work for you. So run the bag up. Make it happen. All right, y'all. Peace out.